Hi folks, and welcome back to Quarantine According to Eddie. It's Sunday the 3rd of May at this point at about 3 minutes to 9. The thing about having a partner who works nights is that you do end up spending a lot of time thinking. Or at least I do. Because you've got to be quiet during the day and you're alone at night. Now this can be very, very bad. So keeping the mind occupied is very important. And I suppose that everyone's got a sense of this at the moment anyway, that you have a lot of time to think when you haven't got much else to do. So I imagine a lot of people have got a lot of sympathy with that. But it does mean that you have a chance to go over some interesting ideas and some interesting problems. Have you ever seen something out the corner of your eye? Turn to look and it's not there. Got the feeling that someone's watching you. I'm not just reciting the lyrics to Iron Maiden's Fear of the Dark, although I'd recommend you give it a listen. I'm talking about the fact that our senses can play tricks on us. This is a big epistemological point, been over it plenty of times as a philosophical body, but I want to think more about the actual way in which this happens and how it might explain something that has otherwise been unexplained. You see, our senses deliver information, but our brains then filter it, extrapolate it, and use memory to augment it. So, for example, if you see something, or if you just look out a window, your brain's actually filtering bits out all the time. It can't take in all the information, so it filters out stuff that it doesn't consider to be necessary. It can, in its extreme, lead to situational blindness, which is basically where you're not looking for something, you don't see it, because you're concentrating on something else. Search for situational blindness online, and if you see a video with a gorilla suit in it, watch it. It's really interesting. Anyway, brains also extrapolate. So, for example, when you blink, rather than just giving you like a portion of blank, your brain actually infills with what it remembered just a few microseconds before. It's one of the reasons that you can scan across a landscape or something and completely miss an important detail, because you were blinking, your brain's extrapolated it, it's missed it. And it uses memory to infill quite a lot. I mean, this is why deja vu can come about, because essentially you see something that is so similar to a memory that you've got, your brain basically just infills with a memory from your head. And this makes it very, very difficult for us to know what we're actually perceiving and what is infilling, extrapolation, memory, filtered out. And so this is a big question. What are we not perceiving? Because our brain is filling in gaps. But that question in itself, we can reinterpret. What are we not perceiving? Not just what are we not perceiving because our senses are kind of missing bits out. What are we not perceiving because we don't have the sense to do it in the first place? Hammerhead sharks can pick up on electrical impulses. Some birds can pick up magnetic fields. The mantis shrimp can see colours that we can't. So there's almost like two branches of what are we not perceiving because our brain's not processing it properly, and what are we not perceiving because we don't have the senses. Two separate questions? Not necessarily. Human society has always talked about ghosts. Most scientists consider it to be complete nonsense, but there are a lot of people who genuinely believe that they have seen ghosts. Maybe it's not impossible for there to be a scientific explanation for why people appear to see ghosts. Let's take our two threads again. Our brains infill, use memory, and filter out what we perceive. But also, we don't have full set of perception. We're still evolving. We're actually quite young as a species. What if we were evolving a new sense, or some people were evolving a new sense? A new ability to perceive magnetism, electrical impulses, whatever. What if they started picking things up that most people can't? Well, it wouldn't come all at once, would it? You wouldn't just wake up overnight and suddenly, you can see magnetic fields. You'd get traces of it first. That's how evolution works. So if you got these traces of, say, magnetism, electrical fields, and you were starting to perceive them, it would probably be quite unsettling, because you wouldn't know what was going on, and your brain would then try to infill, to filter, and to extrapolate, and try to work out what's going on. Because we all have memories of ghost stories, of religion, we have a sort of folk memory of that kind of thing. Our brain may take this new sense and kind of reroute it and make it seem like, as far as we can tell, that we've seen some sort of ghost. If you think about it, it makes a level of sense. There are families where you get ghost sightings cropping up, all the way through the family. Now, of course, we learn from our parents and from our families, and so if we learn to believe from them, we're more likely to see what we expect to see. So there is that. But what if actually they have got like this evolutionary trait that's developing? And also, there do seem to be common themes to ghosts, like in terms of the feelings that people get, what they see, across all kinds of cultures. So it's a possibility. But wouldn't that be interesting if actually some people were seeing ghosts? It's just that ghosts were something that was actually fully scientific, and it's just that our perception currently is unable to handle what it's perceiving. Of course, this is all just thoughts and conjecture. I haven't got any evidence to back it up. It's just an idea. But it is always worth considering new ideas and playing with thoughts and just seeing if there's a new way of thinking about the world. Create hypotheses, test them. I'd love to know your thoughts, so any questions and comments, get in touch. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and see you next time.